Welcome to today's episode of the channel's book club. Stories shape our world, especially bizarre ones. Did you catch the story of P. Silvakumar, the Indian who decided to marry a dog to atone for stoning to death 2 dogs? His bride's name, Selvi the dog, I mean. This happened in 2010, but it still boggles the mind. How about the football teams in Nigeria that recently crushed their opponents by 79 and 67 goals respectively? Truly bizarre. Back to the normal. We have in today's episode a top makeup artist and a successful financial expert who launched and talked about their books on the channel's book club. Please join us after this break.
Radio host, TV host, rock star. A lot of you like to shout "Adia" when you see me. Reading really changed my life. I remember when I was growing up, didn't go out much. All I did was read. I love to read. I read everything. I read novels, I read storybooks, I read prescriptions, I even have read cooking books. You should read because it opens your mind. It takes you to places where your feet may never go. And reading helps you speak well and helps you feel good about yourself. So go out there and read something today. You're watching Channel's Book Club.
Nigeria's leading makeup entrepreneur, Tara Durotoye, recently launched a new book titled House of Tara 100 Voices, celebrating inspirational stories of enterprise and courage against all odds in Lagos. This book showcases the tales of individuals whose lives have been transformed through Tara's makeup line.
It opens with a gate of arts, moves into windows of creativity.
She finds the only English word she knows from somewhere hidden in the belly of a 4'9" body, and instead of "I won't care," she greets us with "bye bye."
Branches into rooms of color. And ends with a roof of imagination.
Walk into Art House. The pieces all come together at 9:30 p.m. every Saturday. Art House, life is art.
Transformation is considered to be a marked change, either in appearance or character, usually for the better. And one lady is ensuring this transformation is felt in the lives of others. Tara Durotoye is changing lives of young men and women who have linked themselves to a line of beauty products with the hope of becoming financially independent.
I've always known how impactful House of Tara has been. We always talk about that we're a beauty company that builds lives. We say it all the time, but you never really know the depth and the extent to which we've done this work until we have actually experienced them and heard their stories. And we thought it was time yet again to take it a bit further. It was good that they inspire us, yes. It's good that we also know that we're a platform, yes. But what else can we do? So we decided to create a fund. There are many of them who told us in their story that it will take 7,000 to start the business. Sometimes the minimum you can get start up with is 15,000 naira, which is incidentally the amount I used to buy my first kits 15 years ago when I started. And they would say to me, "Oh, well, I had to borrow 7,000 from one person and another 7,000 from somebody else, and put it together to be able to buy my first kit." And I thought, how much is 15K? The number of people who could start up a business with that amount of money, and they will stand and say, "I have been empowered. I am changed, I'm transformed. You look at the words that are being used, I'm transformed, I'm changed. I feel more confident in myself, I feel I can do much more. And I thought, we can't deprive people because of your thinking. So what can we as a company do? And my chairman had said to me, you know what, we need to create a fund.
And they're telling the stories in a book aptly titled House of Tara, 100 Voices, Volume 1.
Before now, I of course had issues with financial stability, but meeting House of Tara and working with them, I would say my finances have been more stable.
Not just a happy person. Before now, my peers are just celebrating me, Tara babe, Tara babe, Tara babe, and all that. And I think I'm happy. Even without the job, I'm happy now.
This event in Lagos to launch the book is a testament of one woman's drive at making others successful.
From the nothing stage to become the something that it does not just become something to you, but becomes something tangible that can help the lives of so many other people. To be moved from one space to another space, much better, much more respectable, and a space where you can do anything you like with it.
Tara's house is certainly filled with a lot of appreciative voices.
Tope Fajengbesi, a brilliant US-based Nigerian professional, has written a book with an interesting title, What Color is Your Money? If you are looking to get financial education, stay tuned. It will inspire you to get a copy. Welcome to the Channels Book Club.
Thank you.
This is a very lovely book. What Color is Your Money? Why did you write this?
Well, I wrote this after 15 years as an accountant. I wanted to explain some issues that I thought people needed to know about managing finances in a very easy language. This was actually my first book, and so I didn't really know what to expect, but I really thought that I like writing, so I thought it can't be that difficult. But I realized that writing a book is really complicated. It's like having 4 jobs in one. And I look at the book now in its finished product, and it wasn't the same book I wrote in September last year.
You have a background in finance,
yes,
both in Nigeria and in the US,
yes,
right? How did you bring that to bear on the book?
When I wrote the book, and the editors was ready for the first time, they called me. They said, "Would you like to use British English or US English?" And I said, "Why would you say that?" They said, "Because you have a mixture of both." I said, "Because my experience is in both places." So that was the English writing part. Eventually, I chose to, stay with one of them. But it also helped me because Nigerians used to be very conservative when it comes to money. So, and that experience, really helped me in the USA. And when I approach money from here, I'm approaching it from a point of preserving whatever you have, however little it is, and even if it's much, to try and build it instead of squander it. So I think, I've been able to marry both properly.
That culture you just described of Nigeria now, is conservative the right word? I'm just thinking, we like to party, we like to spend money, we like to, it's not burial today, it's a birthday party tomorrow, and all that.
When you see somebody having a huge pot, they probably have a house that is theirs, that is not backed by 33% mortgage. But now that's not the case. But in the olden days, we used to be, when I grew up, it was more conservative than we had right now.
How would you describe the financial culture of Nigerians? When you compare that to the financial culture of Americans, you live in Washington now.
Yes.
What's the most distinct thing when you compare both?
Where Nigerians and Americans, they are virtually the same now. It's just that what we spend money on is kind of different. Americans for the most part, the young people, they want to have a nice life, a good life, and they would get 1 or 2 or 3 credit cards to afford that life. Now in Nigeria, we're getting to that point as well, and which is why I think that this book has become necessary, so that we don't get carried away. We don't, follow everything we see on cable television, where somebody has a whole closet full of clothes and shoes that they funded on credit. And I think that Nigerian young people are getting to that point, so we're becoming a little bit like the Americans now.
Okay, what color is your money? Why that title?
It's interesting. I came up with a quiz on my website where I wanted to help people figure out what the color of their money was. I figured that if you try to advise somebody with something fun, like colors, they might actually listen. Unlike if you told somebody, you know what, I think you're spending too much money on a luxury car you cannot afford. Or, I can say that in the color sense of, I think you're yellow, and this is what a yellow person does. You could try to be a little bit like a blue. So, that, and the quiz really hit, a lot of people. So I thought, why don't I, title the book that way so that they can actually, come close and then figure out the other things in there.
Is there enough financial education going on in Nigeria today, in your opinion?
No, I don't think so. I think, we're actually getting less and less financial education in Nigeria. Apart from the fact that I studied accounting, so, I know that was finance all through college. But I also saw people who were not even accountants get involved in different youth clubs that encouraged, managing money. But now, things are getting really, put on the back burner when it comes to financial education. And I think that we really need to ramp up this, and that's what I'm hoping that we can do with this book and so many other things. People need to realize that you cannot just wake up one day, get your salary, and then just spend it. There should be a plan. There should be, what is your life beyond this whole salary life that you're living right now? Where are you going to be in 5 years' time? A lot of young people don't know that, and that's, really sad.
What kind of experiences in your personal financial life, did you bring to bear in this book? I'm keen on hearing those experiences that were not very pleasant.
Interesting. Well, that's a very difficult question, and I'm going to try and answer it honestly. But the truth is, I took a very difficult decision in 2012, which was to get divorced. And honestly, I couldn't have done that without having my finances in order. And since I've been, living that new life of not being married again, I've talked to a couple of women, Nigerian women in America, who are in very difficult situations and are unable to take the kind of decisions that I took because of the financial issue. So I really wanted to pass that message across, that there might be some things in your life that not having money or not knowing how to manage your money or making mistakes with your money might make it, difficult for you to take those decisions. So you have to really be on top of it.
Well, thank you very much for coming on the Channels Book Club.
Thank you for having me.
Felabration is an annual event organized in memory of the late Afrobeat legend, Fela Anikulapo Kuti. Since its inception, debates are held between public and private schools in Lagos, and this encourages reading in no small measure.